Awesome.
네, 여러분 반갑습니다.
Good morning, everyone. It's a great pleasure and privilege to take part in this Seoul Digital Forum under the theme of ECOllaboration. We just heard from Mr. Alain de Botton. It was very interesting. And I'd love to try out the life of school in Seoul. I'll be the first volunteer to do that. Before I became the mayor of Seoul, look at this video. I was still young, but look at what happened after 1 year of being a mayor. I dyed my hair now, but I think by the end of my term, this is what I'll look like. So I'm very worried about this. I'm responsible for the 10 million Seoul citizens. I need to also think about the future of Seoul. So maybe I will lose my hair after a year. Nevertheless, I believe that communication, cooperation, and ECOllaboration will help me be a more effective mayor. I believe that the citizens are the mayor. I think this is behind the theme of ECOllaboration in our city. As you well know, Seoul is busy being redeveloped and building new towns. There are people who support this as well as those who oppose this. A lot of times they can't exercise their property rights for a long time, so people are very unhappy. Many times houses are abandoned, and that gives rise to crime. There was a neighborhood in Mapo, and we decided to make that a safe neighborhood. Until now, we used to sit on the table and establish a policy and implement that. But now, the Seoul City government is approaching in a different way. We first go to the neighborhood residents and listen to them first. We conduct a lot of research on the community. That means that the community itself has become much more important to us. We found out that this Mapo neighborhood had many women residents, and these women would return home usually between 10 o'clock in the night and 2 o'clock in the morning. We also found out that many of the residents were of the older population. Based on this survey and a interview conducted with small groups, we established the policy to prevent crime by building an environment. First, we made the streets bright. Secondly, we painted many walls in a bright color. We also installed exercise facilities throughout the neighborhood and in alleys. Because people came out to exercise, crime rate dropped as well. So fear of crime dropped by 79%, and resident satisfaction rose by 84%. This is what the neighborhood looks like. It looks safer and more pleasant. This would not have been possible if we hadn't listened closely to the members of the community. So that is the beginning of our policy making. So now we keep our ears open to the voice of Seoul citizens. That has become a part of our everyday work. During the past 1.5 years of my term as mayor, we listened to 6,000 voices through policy forums. Furthermore, we conducted deliberations, which is about bringing opponents and proponents and having them engage in a debate. I listen to the debate, and the answer, conclusion, becomes clear. At the same time, If anybody has something to say, you can come to this place and say your thoughts. Do you have something you'd like to say and talk about? In the new government building of Seoul, there's a space where you can state your opinion, and that will be conveyed to the relevant officials. The video itself is given to those officials. We also have honorary vice mayors in 7 areas, the seniors, the disabled, and women, as well as youths. That is because we want to continue to listen to these constituencies. It doesn't require any money. I like things that are free as well. Many policies that we design focus on listening. It's become a part of everything we do. We also have a program called the Healthy Seoul 36.5. It is a healthcare policy. Before we came up with this policy, we had more than 100 meetings with Seoul citizens. The same thing for the welfare standards. We had 162 meetings with people for 9 months before introducing the policy. You might think that this will delay the administrative process, but I don't believe so, because we listen to everyone and all the interest groups. And because we have that opportunity to sound each other out, the policy becomes more effective. Did you notice that Seoul has become more quiet? Yes, it has become quieter. I hear that often. We don't see so many protesters in front of the city hall anymore. And that's because we went through the process of deliberation and listening. This shows a cake without the filling. It's tasteless. It's the same for city administration. Listening offline as well as listening online is an important part of our process. As you well know, we have the Dasan One call center in Seoul. So you can call in to solve your problems. But there's also the SNS administration. We are evolving towards an SNS administration. I'm an avid Twitter, and look at this. I have almost 700,000 followers. Mr. Alain de Botton had 300,000. Well, I'm very happy. I have more followers than this renowned author. Are you any of my friends on Facebook or Twitter? Look, at least half of them are online friends of mine. And I see there are more women as well. But because I'm not speaking in English, because I don't speak English, not many British women follow me. But recently I received this tweet. It was last year, this time of the year. It says, I work as a bus driver, but my wages are backed. Please solve this problem for me. I asked him which bus company he worked for, but then I forgot about that. 4 days later, however, this was tweeted to me. I received my salary, and all the bus drivers are so thankful to you. I didn't know it would be resolved in such a short time. And I was happy because these people received their backed pay before Father's Day. I was very moved by this experience because I didn't even give instructions to the public officers, but this tweet was enough to make the city officers take action. The fact that they were able to be a true father on Father's Day was very gratifying for me. As you can see, my tweet deals with small things in everyday lives of our citizens, and I receive hundreds of tweets like this. One of these tweets is about renting or letting people borrow balls in the public parks. There was also one about installing elevators in the subway for wheelchairs. It takes a lot of money, so we're gradually installing that. Another tweet said that sometimes the subways or the buses are too cold because the air conditioner is on all the time. So I would send this to the president of the Seoul Subway Corporation. All of our officers follow these tweets. There was one about the bus station, the bus stops. When you see something like this, aren't you a bit confused? Because it shows the bus stops, but we don't know which direction the bus is going to. This does confuse you, doesn't it? Let's say we just put a single arrow there. That makes everything clear. We know which direction the bus is traveling. There was this one youth that put this idea up on his Twitter. This wonderful idea was given to us by this youth. That's why I said citizens are great. Our officers at the city immediately took on that suggestion. As a result, every single stop in the Seoul city has those red arrows on their guide board, the bulletin board, billboard. The Facebook is another thing that I do, and 160,000 people are my friends. We introduced a late night program for buses, and the late night operation was very helpful. We found out that 46,000 people were very happy about that through the Facebook. A lot of these had comments posted by others. And the comments were also very interesting because it was very detailed. Some of them said that the bus drivers who are driving late at night should also be able to work in a pleasant and safe environment. All of these comments were helpful in implementing the late night bus program without any major problems. For the first 1 week, 17,000 people rode the bus late at night, and every one of them were very thankful about it. They sent many messages thanking me. It's not only my personal Twitters, but also the city government's Twitter that have been integrated into a single page. It's called the Seoul City Social Media Center. On the one hand, we have the comments of citizens, and the other side consists of responses by our government. We received many valid suggestions, and 98% of them were responded by the city government. We have become a responsive government. In other words, it's a Wikipedia administration. I think this epitomizes the power of collective intellect. If you look at my Twitter, you'll see a lot of hearts. A lot of hearts are seen here, and you can always send me a heart. Mr. de Botton said a lot of people, especially Koreans, are so involved and preoccupied with competition that they need to be comforted and consoled. I'm very busy, but I'm also one of those who needs to be comforted once in a while. But my Twitter can give me comfort. And I send these hearts to comfort others as well. You can send me this heart as well. It doesn't take any money. On the front of our city hall, you will see this structure. It looks like a human ear. Stand in front of this and say hello. You'll find out that the voice will be directly conveyed to the officer in charge of that issue. So please encourage our officers with a round of applause. So Seoul city government is ready to listen. I believe that listening, or what we call a big ear leadership, doesn't necessarily mean that we listen carefully. We have to listen, and we have to be prepared to listen with full attention. If we want to listen well, we have to inform our citizens. They need to be informed to present valid suggestions or protests. That's why we decided to disclose all information. We've taken off everything that we have covered ourselves with. So it's a nude project. All the documents that we have prepared are disclosed unless it violates someone's privacy. Even the big data is disclosed. I believe that this has great economic value because this information is put out there to many people. We're now thinking about what sort of application will facilitate the communication of such information. Silos in the administration and organization are big problems. We want to tear down Chinese walls and boundaries between the departments in our city government. We are tearing down those walls and boundaries. Let's look at an example. I recently received this message on my Twitter. During the past 100 days, 6 residents in our neighborhood took their own lives. Introduce a suicide prevention program in our neighborhood. Give them back. Give people back their self-esteem. So immediately I went to this neighborhood and I spent 3 days in this public housing. I even slept in that apartment and listened to the people who lived there. So many people were living there in loneliness and pain, and I couldn't leave them as they were. I listened to so many people in the community. There's always an answer in the community. Until now, only the public housing department was in charge of such issues. But this time we brought in 8 departments. The result was an integrated measure for public housing. Until now, housing was just about providing a place to sleep. But the residents also need work. Furthermore, they need to be able to socialize with others. They also need to be taken care of. That means that a lot of the different departments and bureaus had to get involved. Collaboration can change our community. This is my belief, and I'm realizing this belief through such policies. Ladies and gentlemen, think about this. In the 1950s, right after the Korean War, we were devastated, but look at what we built afterwards. It's a metropolitan. We're one of the 10 leading cities in the world. Our income exceeds $20,000 per annum. We're the leading country in terms of shipbuilding and semiconductors and other industries. But there's also the dark side of success. There is increased polarization, suicide rate among youths is increasing. Unfortunately, we have the highest suicide rate among the OECD countries, especially for youths. We are the leading country in terms of unhappy youths. Human beings were not meant to be alone. Aristotle said that human beings are social animals. Look at the Chinese character representing human. Two lines are leaning against each other. That's how human beings were meant to be. And that is precisely ECOllaboration. This is how I define ECOllaboration. It's not just about cooperating with others. It's about bringing in others into myself that will double the energy and power. I'm not just saying that we want to cooperate with citizens. I'm saying that the citizens are the owners. These are the many spaces that we created so that we can bring the Seoul citizens together. We want to share and we want to enjoy everything with our citizens. All of you are invited to this open space and table. Come to this table and enjoy. You are the mayor.
감사합니다. 앉으시죠. 네, 시장이 시민의
Thank you. Direct communication with the mayor and thereby fostering collaboration. I feel very proud as a citizen of Seoul to see this happening. We don't have that much time left, but we would still like to have a dialogue session with Mayor Park. Last time when you came to an interview with me, I think we both wore the same color suits and similar ties. I guess communication and frequent communication has made it possible for us to have some kind of an empathy. I actually became a follower, but are you a follower of me? Let me go back and confirm whether I am a follower of you or not. Well, it seems that there was another tool for communication between the citizens and yourself. I understand that it has something to do with singing. Is that true? Well, no, not exactly. With our employees at City Hall, we saw that everyone was so serious. It was not much fun to work at City Hall. So I wanted to improve that situation. But there didn't seem to be a lot of fun-promoting factors, so I took the leadership. So during the meeting, at the beginning of the meeting, I began with a song. Can you sing a song for us here? Actually, I'm a very bad singer. I'm not sure if I should be doing this in front of everybody.
봄이 오면 사내들의 진달래 피네 진달래 피는 곳에 내 마음도 피어 건너마을 젊은 처자 이 정도 하겠습니다.
아유, 고맙습니다. 박수 한번 보내주시죠. 딱딱한 분위기는
Thank you. Well, I think that must have made the overall ambience very friendly. Let's go back to the serious ambience then. So you have been making direct communication with the citizens through Twitter in order to achieve full collaboration for the running of the Seoul city as a whole. But I believe that in some cases, it may create some conflicts with some of the policy implementations. What is your opinion on this? Well, New York Times, when they opened up and revealed some confidential documentation during the Vietnamese War, there was actually a litigation that occurred, and the final conclusion was that it was still necessary to open that up, because the final conclusion was that it is better to have information without the government and not the vice versa. In some cases, it is true that we are criticized for opening up too much information. However, I believe that ultimately this will create better benefits because it creates a transparent government.
Then, you're a politician and an administrator, and you've spent 2 years as a public official. After becoming a governmental figure, what do you think, as a politician, how would you score the communication ability of the Korean politicians? I'm also a politician, so it's hard to say, but I think the Korean citizens are quite disappointed because the same communication can be done with more thoughtful words. As Mr. Botong said, communication has to come from the heart. Rather than superficial communication, the words used for communication has to be sincere. But I don't think that's what people feel when politicians speak. This sort of effort has to be taken by the politician, and that's what people demand.
Thank you very much. I wish we had more time to have this dialogue session more in depth, but unfortunately this will be the end because we're going to conclude our live broadcast here. It's going to be election period very soon. Now, what is your intention? Well, definitely you're a journalist, I can see that, but I'm also a politician and I will not be answering that question. Thank you.